operate without a store actually being in part of business. And he was going to look into it. He got back to me today, and unfortunately, it will not be able to run in 2025. So as of December 31st, the Chicago chapter will be pretty much on hold until there is a new store built under that name. However, nothing is guaranteed, and that's the reason why they are unable to basically fulfill our request to continue for 2025. So with that being said, December 31st, the Chicago chapter will be disbanded. We will have a December meeting. We are going to go over some things at our next officers meeting. There are a lot of things that we still would like to try to get accomplished before that time. One of the things, you know, we basically got some formal business that we need to take care of as a chapter. Karen has to do some stuff. Sue needs to do some stuff. Kitty, you're off the hook.
No, I don't.
Chris, she's off the hook. So we do want to have some sort of a farewell party. So we are going to take the opportunity of the holiday party that we were planning on having sometime in January. We will still have this party, but it will be more like a farewell party. We have funds in order to do this because we have to deplete the funds that are in the bank account, because technically it's the dealership's money, so we need to
We only have 50 bucks.
What's that?
We only have 50 bucks.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So we need to take care of that. So please plan on some sort of farewell party sometime in January or February. We will try to have that all locked in place by the December meeting. We'll have a venue. We'll have some sort of menu of sorts of food and activities. You know, basically we're going to try to do something better than some sort of kickoff party like we've had in the past, and kind of just go out with a bang.
We don't got that much money.
It doesn't necessarily mean that the Chicago chapter is gone for good. It just means at this point it is temporarily on hold. But again, there has nothing been in writing in regards. Harley Davidson's main concern is that nothing's been guaranteed on the Windy City side that the store is actually being built. And that was kind of concerning for Harley Davidson. So we got that going on, and again, kind of just keep your ears to the ground. There's a lot of rumors that are going around, stores closing, stores remaining open. Things have been changing by the day, been changing by the week. You know, Lake Geneva closing was, you know, out of left field, because none of that was discussed before, and just one day I saw it on Facebook page that Lake Geneva was closing. And then West Bend was supposed to close for the winter. That's not happening because the patriots of West Bend Harley Davidson, they banded together and they just overloaded Harley Davidson, and now they're going to stay open. So yeah, things are changing constantly within the Windy City organization. For everybody that has been submitted their blue cards into Mike, we are still going to do something for that type of raffle. We just don't know what we're doing yet. So
Give out the patches that we got.
Sorry?
Give out the patches we got. We still have the blue patches.
No, in regards to the blue
No, in
cards.
regards to the blue card drawing.
Oh, the drawing at the end?
Yeah.
We are still going to plan on having the groundhog pub crawl. We've always had a great time. whenever we're doing that. And,
What's the date on that?
right, and I think that, we can definitely,
We'll have the date on meetup within the week.
so we'll have all
Usually
that.
it's like the first week of February.
Mandatory.
So the pub crawl will still be going on. The Facebook page will still remain active because we can use that as a form of communication for 2025 in case we still want to get together as a group and ride out somewhere. We can still do a breakfast ride or a lunch ride or whatever, you know.
What about meetup? What's the meetup in it?
Meetup, we have to see when it expires, and because unfortunately we do have to pay for Meetup, so Mike's gonna check to see when it expires. It may go through all the way to 2025. He's gonna check on the expiration date. But right now, Facebook will be the primary area of communication for rides or any type of events. You know, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe somebody wants to go out and go see a movie of some sort and just kind of put it out there and see if anybody else wanted to go. You know, we do last minute rides all the time, and I think if we use the page properly, because I had two-wheel therapy before in a chat room and it was not used properly. So I stopped and I got rid of it. And if we can use this page strictly for communication for motorcycle type of stuff, then, you know, we can use that because I feel like that's a really good form of communication. Bob and I are the administrators for that Facebook page, and honestly, if I feel that something not suit for that page, I'm going to delete it. But if you want to post a ride or post something in regards of a charity or post some sort of event that's motorcycle related, I think that's great because that just gives us another opportunity to get together as a group. So kind of just keep that in mind in regards to things. If you guys are still looking to be part of a chapter, obviously you have Lakeshore, which is technically where the city limits crew has supposed to go. You have Lakeshore, you have Wildfire, and you have Woodstock. Those are our three closest one. Countryside, if you want to travel far south out to Countryside, Illinois. So those are your options if you still want to be part of an active chapter. So you have Lakeshore, Wildfire, Woodstock, and Countryside. So those are available for your choices. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Okay, so before when city limits closed, we still kept doing things as a chapter, city limits chapter, and didn't pay too much attention to what Harley was doing.
Yep.
And now we're gonna pay attention to what they're doing and back out?
Again, I was on the phone with Paul for a half hour, 45 minutes. I told him our concerns. I told him the money that we have invested in regards of new rockers. It didn't seem like Harley Davidson wanted to listen.
What?
Right, they didn't listen
One
before.
important difference.
City limits did not close at that time. It was
Ci-
still
city
considered a store.
Oh,
City limits didn't go out of business, the store was just closed.
Okay.
So they were still supporting us as a chapter.
Okay.
In this case, it's the dealer, the chapter is gone.
Okay.
Different scenario, most unfortunately.
Yeah.
We tried to do it like we did with city limits, and it didn't work.
Yes, sir.
Do we have to be attached to a dealer, or we just go out on our own and?
We discussed the options of going out on our own, and we decided not to go that route because it was going to be pretty expensive for a lot of people. So we lost people because we raised our fee to $35 just in case if we were going to go that route. It probably would have been more than $35. And it was going to take a lot of work in order to keep up with that. So some of the consensus within the chapter felt like it probably would not be a good idea. But again, we can still ride together, we just wouldn't be a hog chapter. So there's nothing preventing us from being, as a group, to go out and ride. We can still do that. We just can't be a hog chapter. And we wouldn't be covered under hog insurance in case if something happens and somebody gets into an accident.
Let's try to avoid that.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So there are brothers and sisters already at Lakeshore.
Yep.
Are there brothers and sisters at the, any other dealerships?
There's a few members that have dual memberships.
Okay.
Wildfire.
Wildfire?
We have countryside.
Countryside too, okay.
We're countryside.
That sounds like a long
It's funny, everybody will take our money right now.
Yes, sir. Hold on, guys.
Your insurance with Hawk being that basically just cover the chapter for liability. It's individual motorcycle liability, we've all got our own.
Correct. It does not cover your motorcycle insurance. It covers the liability for us as officers if we get sued for some reason.
But you got your own personal insurance if you get sued, right?
No, I have to get a lawyer to go to court and fight.
Yep.
If
That's not motorcycle insurance, this is liability insurance.
If something happened under a hog event, hog would provide us a lawyer. This would not be an option for us if we went out on our own.
No, I meant if we were just riding as individuals and there's an accident, and you're in the accident, you get sued, your motorcycle policy has liability, property damage.
If,
Those people-
for your standard motorcycle policy.
Right.
But if they say, you're an officer of that group, we're suing you for what happened to that guy over there.
Right, well, my only point was.
You
if
know,
we're not
that my
chapter,
insurance wouldn't
They
include.
can't do that.
What's that?
If we're not a chapter, they can't sue you for being an officer in a
Correct.
non-existent chapter.
Yeah,
We
correct.
just won't have any officers,
We're not, yeah, we're just riding as friends.
we'll let you talk all you want, but we won't call you an officer.
Right, we're his friends.
Oh, yeah, other stuff.
Well, isn't the
Well, use
title
air
null
quotes.
and void if
We'll have
there's
to
no
start calling you the
chapter?
chairman.
Sorry?
Isn't the title of any officer null and void
Correct.
if there's no
Yep.
chapter?
That is correct.
We're just riding.
We're just
Yeah, we're
riding
just
like
riding
we're
as friends.
just like
Complete different scenario now.
Yeah.
So everybody's on your own for accidents?
Pretty much.
How long are you
I'm
on?
leading.
Hold on.
Henry, thank you.
What about the possibility,
That's why we had the umbrella insurance from Paul.
what about the possibility of temporarily continuing as a club while we wait for the status with Harley to be determined after a year? Just for 1 year. If you collect the dues from the members, you can cover your own liability insurance as a club. You could still follow the same, format, yeah, that's good, thank you. As we do now, call ourselves the City Limits Club. And continue at least for a year temporarily until we work it out and the story is confirmed, and is that a possibility?
It is a possibility.
It will
The
be
problem is
expensive.
that the consensus of a lot of the majority of the members would not go that route. So without the majority of the members, it's going to be very expensive for the people that are willing to do it.
Yeah,
And
no.
we just don't feel like it's fair to accrue that cost on something, to the point where, why should I have to pay $75 just to ride into a group?
Well, you can keep the members.
choice. If they don't want to be part of it, cool. If not,
Well, it's up to the members, right?
I was just gonna ask, what is the benefit of doing that versus what Ace proposed, which is, hey, we're friends, let's just ride like friends, so.
I don't know,
Mike,
it's
tell
a
me more.
formatted way of continuing as a group.
Yeah.
we can still meet monthly.
I don't know, it's just an idea.
But it's something like,
I was just
but you
asking-
would like put a title on to the group, right?
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
just say,
look,
Illinois Highway Riders or
we
something
can do
like
it
that.
any way we agree to do it as a group, right? I mean, you could have your own set of bylaws.
Every Chicago chapter has been,
You can file with the state, and you only have to register who the directors are every year.
Right.
Costs
But
you
those
$5.
directors-
But then we would have to get the
Those directors are
directors.
exposed to liability. The liability.
You would
insurance is
still
expensive.
want to get liability insurance, but hopefully the dues.
Because I don't want to lose my house or my business.
No,
You know,
but listen.
But it gets
listen.
expensive.
You can still buy the same liability insurance, other clubs do this, and they pay for it from the dues from the membership.
Yes. to do fundraising and raffles.
I mean,
Maybe we all sell our Harleys, buy Hondas, and see if Honda has them.
Expand it out there. The whole thing rider.
I don't think there's enough price to cover all this.
I don't know, it's just an idea, just an idea.
Mike, what I've heard, I have not researched it, but that liability insurance is about $2,000. And we have an active group of 30, give or take. That's
Sure.
$67 per person.
It's not a viable option if the numbers don't. Let's put it.
Yeah, but just to give you a round
Yeah, no, I
figure.
hear you.
$67 per person a year or a
Yes,
month?
A year.
And that's
And that's nothing else.
that's just strictly
That's-
covering liability.
That's no raffles, no nothing.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, I could afford $100 a year.
Well,
I would pay it.
But we're still looking at other accrued costs that are gonna go on to actually run this chapter. We pay for this room, I'm sorry, we don't pay for this room, we pay for our wonderful bartender Joey to be here. So, we pay him to be here, they are not paying him to be here, or they're not paying him to be here for our event, we pay him to be here for our event. So, I got you, Larry. So
You're such a whore, Joey.
there are other things that.
It's $50, okay? It's okay.
But, but for us to continue the things that we normally do, that you guys enjoy as being part of this group, there's cost involved in it. Every time she pays for those gift cards, that's $100. Every time we do something else in regards of the lottery tickets, that's money. A lot of that comes from the 50-50, some of that comes from the leftover dues. If we want to throw a party or any type of activities, that's coming out of some of the bank, and then we charge some for you guys to offset some of that charge. So there's a lot of stuff that's involved in regard to that. And again, it was just a consensus for most that it would be a lot of work, a lot of effort. And, if this is something that we can do for a year, that may be great. But if we were able to do it year after year, year after year after year, I've heard some people say like, you know what? Even if Chicago came back, I'm not going to be a part of it because I don't want to be with a chapter for a year, year and a half, and then all of a sudden the store closes again. So, I have been with this chapter for 11 years. I've seen a lot. These guys have seen even more through Suburban. So some of them have seen more through Chicago chapter when it was out in Glenview and before it was out on Western Avenue. So, some of these guys have been through multiple Chicago chapters that have all gone under because of the higher ups don't know what the hell they want to do. And we have to pay the piper for it. So I was kind of in agreement to the point where we make it easier on ourselves, and when riding season comes back along, we just, what's our famous word?
Right and have fun.
Business as usual.
It's close.
Yeah,
Same thing.
it was close.
Same thing.
Business as usual. We ran this chapter because we wanted the chapter. We got no support from the dealership whatsoever. You ask people at Lakeshore, you ask people at Wildfire, you ask people from Countryside, you ask those chapters how much money they get from the dealership. They get money. We didn't get jack shit. We don't get jack shit. We kept this chapter afloat.
All of you kept the chapter afloat.
That's what I meant by we.
I got some blank looks out there.
So, there's a lot involved in regards of what we were trying to propose.
Start a new group called Fuck Them If They Don't Like It.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
think a joke.
Hey,
I want to know my rocker. Fuck them if they can't think a joke.
Chris got a great idea for what the new chapter was going to be called. What'd you want to call it?
We're just gonna call it the Nomads.
The Nomads.
No, man.
So,
The orphans.
so that's kind of where we're at right now. But hold on for 1 second. Larry, you had a question.
More of a comment. I think it kind of makes sense if we're going to be in limbo for at least 1 year.
probably.
It ain't gonna be a year. it'll be two.
Probably two.
Yep.
That, for me, I see it as we join up with Lakeshore. We ride our own rides under their banner, under their insurance. We still stay together, we just don't run ourselves as a chapter. Chicago comes back as a store. We abandon Lakeshore and start over again. Or keep them both.
Yep, I mean,
That's one way to stay together, is to all try to join one dealer and try to do our own rides. They'll probably take us as road captains, who knows? You know, or maybe not, I don't know, John, will they take us as road captains, let us ride our own rides? With them invited, of course.
I would think we'd want to ride as a chapter,
Right,
not as two
right.
chapters.
Right, exactly.
He wants insurance before he answers that question.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, Fox River's going for the same thing. And what they did is they all went up to Woodstock and joined. A lot of them went to Woodstock and joined. Because they wanted to stay together. And what they're doing is having that's McHenry chapter, by the way, up there. So they're like, and McHenry South are having rides. So everybody is in the same group of hogs. And they'll have some rides that leave from the north side and some rides that leave from the south side. And everybody can do the rides. So that everybody kind of either can become one big pile of people, or they can do their separate stuff. It seems to be a good idea.
again, you guys have that option to join another chapter. That's definitely a
Well, if you
viable
want
option.
them to remain with Hawk, that's your only option.
Yep.
No, they can be an independent and still be honest.
Yeah, you can still keep your national membership and it just not
If
be
you
part
want
of
to
the
belong
chapter.
to a
Yes.
Hawk chapter, you want to go on a Hawk chapter ride, you need to belong to what that's open.
Any other questions? Any other comments or concerns? Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so we basically have until the end of the year.
Till December 31st, yep.
Why not put together a bit of a plan and see where we'd be at if we stayed together as a chapter, what our money would look like, what the ideas would look like, and present it in December. and
Well, the
take a vote.
officers will need to meet first, so the treasurer can go over the finances. To find out what we are able to do and what we are not able to do. So, and then at that December meeting, I would hope that we would have some sort of agenda on what we can do for the chapter. That would be my consensus.
So,
And then we can take a vote on whether, people want to stay together as a group and run as a group, or
yeah, so we get that but why not look at both options?
We can definitely look at both options.
You know, and talk more with Lakeshore leadership and see how
That's
that
fine.
would work, you know.
I personally, for me, this is just me personally. I'm probably not going to be with a chapter. That's just me personally. Lakeshore is too far for me. Wildfire is a lot closer. But I'm just, I don't know.
So in other words, going to Woodstock.
No, not going to Woodstock either. That's even further.
Well, they haven't earned our loyalty, that's for sure.
Who hasn't?
The dealerships.
I totally agree with you.
Harley-Davidson, that's,
I totally agree with you. I was not very pleasant with Paul today. So, and he totally understood where I was coming from, but it's a Harley thing. It's got nothing to do with him. So, I mean, I look at pictures like this, and I'm gonna miss this. This is what I'm gonna miss.
That we can still do.
I know, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to miss.
The only thing that's gonna change is the building in the back.
And not wearing a vest.
So there are 3 Harley Davidson dealerships that we could join. 4. So, right.
Now, there's 13 of them out
So
there.
perhaps, but there are some that are familiar to us that are more unique than others. Perhaps we could have like a representative from the chapters, just talk about the chapters a little, for some of us who've never been there other than maybe pick up a part or something like that, to get a little vibe. because I don't think I want to really shop all 4
You know what?
chapters or 7
Well,
chapters.
it comes down to what's closest to you. You're not gonna drive like him from Chicago all the way to Woodstock to go to a hockey.
Maybe.
But to be very honest with you, this isn't a secret. All these dealerships have known that we are in this position. And no one has come to us that I know of. Welcome.
We want it, no.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true.
Okay,
Okay, good,
all right,
good.
good.
No,
Because I
when-
never heard
when
it in a
we-
meeting.
What's happening?
When city limits closed, all the other hog chapters were calling, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did they come to a meeting and talk to us
No.
about it?
Well, no,
They don't need
they
to.
talk
No.
to leadership.
Okay.
no,
well,
I mean,
At that point, we didn't need to.
you know,
We now have a new situation. That may be something we can do.
I mean, I have gone on a Lakeshore ride.
Okay.
They have done very good rides. The ride that I went on with John was a good ride. Some of us went on a Route 66 ride with Countryside. We did their fall color ride. They put on a very good ride. So, you know, it depends on what kind of vibe you're looking for. And I think that's a very good idea. I think we should probably have some sort of representative from each chapter and be like, hey, this is what we do, this is what we don't do, this is what we like, this is what we don't like.
This is what we need.
Yep,
Yeah, they can.
yeah,
Just,
exactly.
You know,
We'll reach out to all the chapters.
Yeah,
maybe, yeah.
you
I
know,
think you need to get them a template, you know, like
Yeah.
tell them, so like they don't just like ramble on for like that.
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
You know, like,
What do you do, what do you don't do, how do you ride, whatever.
yep,
And
like,
that is one reason we will have meetings in December, January, because we have a lot of stuff
Yeah.
to sort
Yeah,
out.
that'd be good.
And we don't want to do something rash because, oh, the 31st is all over.
Right.
We want everybody to be in agreement, semi-okay with what, it's a bad situation. We're to make the best of it.
Is there any advantage to an active chapter to bring in 20 new members?
no, they just get more money. I wouldn't say that there's an advantage, but
Yeah, there isn't, if you were to go independent, we are gonna lose that pipeline to new members unless everybody is very active in promoting and working with the chapter. When you're part of a hog chapter, even though we didn't receive any support from, like, when, City Limits, every time City Limits or Chicago had a dealer event, and we were there, even Chicago, a couple times, we picked up 1 or 2 people. And so you had a pipeline where new people can come in.
And that's the advantage to going to Lakeshore. They get 20 new people, they get 20, hopefully 20 active members, because we all know that 50% aren't active. They don't go on all the rides, they don't show up at the dealership.
Pretty much it's the rule of thirds.
The third
Yeah,
day.
A third if you want just a discount, a third will do one activity a year, a third will be active. Then it'll be active, 1/3 will be officers, 1/3 will show up and meet your ride, 1/3 will come once or twice a year.
Yeah.
It just works that way all the way down. So at one point, we were at 600 members, 200 were active when I first joined.
Where was that?
Lakeshore.
Holy cow.
Well, there was a lot of those dealerships, that was 24 years ago.
I've been in 20 years at Wildfire and I don't think we ever exceeded.
Yeah, but now I think last year was 225, this year's around 180. Hog chapters are thinning out.
Well, we're all aging out, aren't we?
15 years ago, we had 250 members, the city limits, because we got them from the dealership. But then they decided to pull their purse strings, and only the active people that showed up to things would they give us money. That was bullshit. When everybody else was still getting money, they're holding our purse strings.
That's not cool.
So,
Well, Lakeshore changed too, they used to pay us for new bike purchases. That made them a member for 1 year, because it's smart for the dealership.
Right.
That's how they get
Wildfire still does
customers.
that.
Sell them a bike, have them around for a year, and maybe they'll become long-time customers.
exactly.
But the new GM has stopped that now.
Ride more miles,
Oh,
buy
you
more
wanna get a new
batteries,
bike?
buy more tires.
Sure.
It's all
Well, you know
about
what,
the
one bike
money.
and they're gone forever, or somebody, I mean, I've been going up there since I joined this chapter in '02. 3 months later, I joined Lakeshore, so I've been in both of them for
And how can your manager say no when they're still doing it at other stores?
Yeah, well,
That's
it
bullshit.
could well be point. Now, the new GM budgets differently and stop. At one time, they did new and used bikes. Then they did just new bikes. Then he's not doing it at all right now. But again, that could change in a week. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know what they're doing. It's like a revolving door up there for general managers.
Nick's not there anymore?
Pardon?
Nick's not there anymore?
No, now we have I forgot his name. He's got a handlebar, a long goatee, and tattooed arms, yeah. He's another new guy. Okay.
All right, well,
Aren't you glad you came tonight?
Moving on.
yeah, moving on. So,
Speaking of that though, when do we want to have our miles certified at a dealer, right? End of the year, we want to get them.
no matter what, you still got to do it before December 31st.
Yeah.
Right.
Before year's
Put it
end.
on Chicago, so we're still collecting.
You go to any dealer, make sure to tell them it's for the Chicago chapter.
Plus, you can do that yourself. If you're a member of more than one chapter, you can go online and pick the chapter you want your mileage applied to.
But do get to a dealer and get your mileage recorded.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Are we able to, since my bike's not technically drivable right now, can I still call a dealership or drive to a dealership with a picture of the odometer
Call
and the VIN?
Amanda.
Yeah.
Call Amanda, she'll just use your picture from your.
Yeah. Or if you guys are close to Lakeshore, all the mechanics and the parts people from Rosemont went to Lakeshore. So they all know how to do it too.
But if they can't bring their bikes there, it's easier to go to Amanda.
Yeah.
She knows we're part of the chapter.
Yeah, so the Rosemont store is still open if you guys need any type of memorabilia or whatever. They're open till December 31st. But parts and service is now officially closed as of last weekend. Anything?
What about this? What about bike storage?
Bike storage? Bike storage is, Steve got engaged. What?
Surprise. It was a long weekend, I was drinking, I don't know what happened, you know?
No, but seriously, on a very serious note, me buying a Harley Davidson was like a last minute decision. It was never planned. I actually wanted to go back to going back on crotch rockets. A buddy of mine had a V-Rod. I went to Honda to get up, to buy a Honda CBR. They were jacking me around with the financing. My buddy was like, go to Harley Davidson, go to City Limits, they'll take care of you. I bought my first 01 Ultra Classic. So I went from a crotch rocket to the biggest bike possible. And then when I test rode it, the guy knew. He was like, you're a crotch rocket boy, right? Because I stopped just like that. And I almost lost the bike. And then, I learned from two of the best people that were on this earth, and I miss them dearly. John Costello and Jim Berard. Those guys took me under their wing. They taught me, they mentored me. They took me out to places that I had no idea that I was capable of doing on such big bike. I didn't even know Wisconsin existed until I got to this chapter. This, again, one of the benefits, what's the benefit of being with the chapter? It's definitely the people. Riding to me has been a love that I've been doing since I was, 21 years old. When my first Honda Nighthawk 550. And then it just grew from there, and it's always been my therapy. When life is not going the way that I want it to go, I get on my bike and I forget about everything else. I'm going to stop before I get emotional.
Okay,
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that's here. I appreciate everybody that, the memories that I've shared with everybody in this chapter. I mean, I've gone on some wonderful trips because of some of the people that are in this chapter. And I'm very grateful that they entrusted me to take them on these wonderful trips that we've had. Thanks guys. I love you. Appreciate it.
We
Can
still
I
got
get,
about, we still got about a half hour so you can socialize.
can I get the people that have a dual membership with Lakeshore stand up so the rest of the chapter can see who you are? Because there's quite a few.
We brought tomatoes, we're gonna.
And how about for the other?
Yeah, well, feel
We
free.
got Wildfire.
We got Wildfire.
Wildfire?
Yep.
YouTube.
Fox River.
And then we have Countryside. Countryside.
Why do you guys stand up?
Countryside.
Nobody is with Woodstock Friends.
Oh yeah, I am now, McHenry. It's actually called McHenry now.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, what's that too?
Why are they calling it McHenry when McHenry closed?
McHenry County.